If he's not the culprit, then we're back to square one.
Let's try going back to the fork in the path. Maybe something else changed. Nothing's changed.
There aren't any new doors. What? There's nowhere to go? What was the point of eliminating all the other paths?
Come on.
Don't start with that again. How about you help us for a change? You better cooperate, unless you want to get chopped up by Master Solution Blade.
Hold on, Shinigami.
I don't want to get chopped up. I dislike pain immensely. But you know, the journey up to now wasn't a waste. We did eliminate many possibilities.
But that means nothing if we can't reach the truth.
Nothing? Why do you want the truth in the first place?
Huh?
It's easy to say you want the truth, but are you sure you can handle it? No matter how cruel that truth may be.
Can I handle it?
I'm still not sure if you're the kind of person who can. I bet you're not sure either. That's why you're still so hesitant. This mystery labyrinth also reflects your reluctance. Maybe that's why you can't reach the truth.
What are you talking about? I've said it before and I'll say it again. I won't hesitate to expose the truth.
So you still haven't realized it? Guess you're not quite there yet. Well, that's fine for now. But eventually, you'll be forced to make a choice. When that happens, you'll have to prove your conviction and expose the truth, like you said.
Enough nonsense. Let's find some clues.
As an apology for the distraction, let me tell you something. This labyrinth appears to change shape by reflecting our investigation. So, instead of following the revealed path, isn't it possible to carve your own path?
Carve my own path? That's right, Shinigami! We can create new routes with our own deductions. Maybe we can do it here.
Sometimes, just a slight change in perspective is enough to completely change how you see things.
So if I change my perspective here, I might see something new. I see. I was so focused on how to overcome the security system. But that's not right. I need to change my perspective and think about who could have overcome it.
Don't box yourself in with your own assumptions.
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
I hate when the anemic vampire tells us what to do. But if Master wants to... Then fine. I'll lend you my power. Lay it all out, Master! Try to solve it lickety-split! Twirling, twirling, twirling.
I actually have no idea. Wait. I have no fucking clue.
You can do it, Master!
I don't think I can. I have no fucking clue who this could be.
Only 30 seconds left, Master! Got it wrong!
Alright, well I know it's neither of those to start. Okay.
Damn it!
Are you ready to prove wrong? That's not it!
I genuinely have no fucking clue.
Go, go, go!
Oh. Is it just Amaterasu?
You can do it, Master!
No, because there's no... Oh. It's Amapal? What? Why?
You can go, go, go! Keep that up! Keep that up!
A new route appeared!
This is all thanks to me!
Perhaps I said too much. Well, nothing has been solved yet.
I wish you'd express yourself a little better. How can we tell if you're happy or sad?
I've never been happy or sad in my entire life. I want to die someday.
This guy's hopeless!
Anyway, let's explore this new route.
When you think about who could get past security, the only option we know of is Amapal.
True, and that's how we were able to get through security ourselves.
But it's just a toy robot, right? How is it related to the case?
I don't know yet, but since Amapal can get through security, it must be important.
It's sealed off here, too.
Hey, there's an intercom. Maybe someone will respond if you use it.
No way. Huh? Doctor?
Huh? Wait. What the? Wait. Who are you? Help! Somebody come help me!
Isn't this the footage of when the doctor was attacked?
Yeah, you're right.
The mystery materialized. It must be related to what the doctor just said. So the question is, who did the doctor say, "Who are you?" to? Well, I'll leave it to you.
I don't get how you can keep reading at a time like this.
I mean, this is the obvious answer, right? Because if it's no one, then that would mean that he was in on the whole thing. I'm just gonna go with this one.
I can certainly understand
Yeah.
why you'd want to choose that. But wasn't security active at that point? I considered all the various possibilities, but I couldn't figure out a way to get past the security. If I'm right, then there is no basis to infer that someone had entered the doctor's lab at this point. Which means you can't say the doctor was directing those words to the culprit.
Yeah, that sounds right.
The trap didn't activate. Does that mean we found the right answer? Huh? So the right answer is no one? Why would the doctor say, "Who are you?" if no one was there?
The security was still active at the time, so no one could enter the doctor's lab, right? And that was before I borrowed Amapel. So the only explanation is that no one was there.
Why would he say that if no one was there?
I think if we go there, we'll find the answer.
What? That route's obviously just a side road. Who cares what the old geezer was thinking anyway?
But it looks like this is the only way we can go. Besides, I am curious about what was going through his mind. It could be an important factor in solving the mystery behind this case.
Still, being forced to take a side route is too much trouble. Makes me wish I was dead.
So, Master, do you have an idea about what the geezer was thinking?
Not yet, but I think it has to do with why he said, "Who are you?" I think the doctor was putting on an act.
An act? Really?
The doctor put on an act for a reason, but I have no idea why. We have to figure that out by going down this doctor's motive route.
He's here too?
You rats keep scurrying around. Do you really think you'll discover Dr. Weska's motive this way? Good luck with that, morons! He had no motive at all!
Well, he said there's nothing here. Let's head back.
We can't do that! If he's trying to block our path, then this route must be important.
Nah, fine.
I'm only here because you maggots piss me off. So, I'm gonna end you here and now! This was all... part of the doctor's plan? He didn't have a plan at all. exchange on the intercom wasn't an act.
Fall asleep.
There was no reason to put on a show. The doctor misunderstood. You probably don't know this. Wesker put his soul into his work. The research was going well. This was... It's all part of the doctor's plan. He didn't have a plan at all. That exchange on the intercom wasn't an act. There was no reason to put on a show. The doctor misunderstood. You probably don't know this. Wesker put his soul into his work. The research was going well. The doctor was loyal to Amaterasu. This is the truth.
No, the doctor was planning on betraying Amaterasu Corporation. He was trying to escape Kanai Ward. He said so in the messages he wrote.
You little...
Yomi's rebuttal? What was that? What was he trying to deny? Why was he covering up the doctor's motives?
It seems that this case involves the inner workings of Amaterasu.
Right. The doctor was going to betray Amaterasu. And whoever he was emailing knew that. So the doctor locked himself in the lab to protect himself from that person.
Perhaps the doctor's act had something to do with that. It's the security gate. Everything's locked up.
Which means this is a complex problem. We have to choose the right door and insert the correct solution key.
This is way more hassle than before. Guess I'll leave it to you, Yuma.
As always.
The door actually opened. I knew I could let Yuma handle it.
Are you sure you aren't a phantom?
So the doctor tried to swap places with someone else to escape from Amaterasu. The notes he left behind in the lab hinted at his plan.
You mean the diagram with the sulfuric acid being poured on someone?
Yeah, he was going to swap places with a corpse, then melt it with acid. He wanted to disfigure it beyond recognition. That's how he planned to fake his own death.
At the very least, it'd buy him enough time to escape Kanai Ward. Or so he thought.
Wow! Melting a corpse with sulfuric acid? Yay! So cool and grotesque! So who was the substitute supposed to be?
Maybe the hitman. The doctor was under surveillance by Amaterasu, but he was still looking for a chance to escape. When he learned a hitman was after him, he figured his chance had arrived. The doctor was hoping to use the security system to kill the hitman and use the body as a decoy.
Now that I think about it, the doctor did seem to be waiting for the hitman to arrive.
The hitman hasn't arrived yet. When will he show up? Don't tell me this so-called first-rate hitman was captured by peacekeepers.
But the hitman never did show up. That's why the doctor had a sudden change of plans.
And that was the act he put on by asking you, "Who are you?"
Perhaps that was a trap to lure you in, Yuma.
He was trying to lure Master?
He considered taking advantage of the detectives, since the hitman never showed up. So if he called for help, he would charge into the lab, not knowing anything about the security system. And thereby, acquire the corpse he needed as his decoy.
That seems overly complicated. Like those guys who overthink asking girls out?
Well, he couldn't have used another researcher. Someone would have noticed their absence. He needed visitors. People from outside to pull it off.
So if I didn't know about the security and had rushed into the lab...
You'd be a super sexy skeleton right now. Aw, so close!
You want that?
But the doctor's plan failed, and he actually got boom killed by the hitman. I get what he was trying to do, but what about the impossible murder?
Assuming the attack on the doctor was just an act when we saw him through the intercom, we at least know for sure the real attack hadn't happened yet.
In other words, the culprit entered the lab after that exchange. So the problem is, when did they actually enter?
Where are we?
This place is a real mystery. Then again, I suppose that checks out.
Huh? Shinigami?
Yeah! Master, this looks like an important turning point! So, is that your final answer?
I haven't said anything yet!
Master, you need to narrow down the timing for when the culprit got inside. Now then, here's our fateful fork in the road. It's life or death! We are at the crossroads of mystery and solution. This earth-shattering choice may be your last. Now, Master, which one will you choose?
So I was on the right track earlier when I said they hid in the contamination vent things and then went in after Amapal. We'll go with this. Or not.
When I directed Amapel to go into the doctor's lab, he already had a knife stuck in him. Which means he was murdered before Amapel entered the doctor's lab.
Your answer? Is correct!
Okay, maybe I'm just an idiot then.
Congratulations, Master! Would you like to double down?
What are you talking about? Anyway, let's keep going.
Little by little, we're narrowing down when the culprit entered.
Yeah, but we still don't know how yet. It had to be between when we spoke to the doctor over the intercom and when Amapel entered his lab. During that time, the culprit entered the doctor's lab and murdered him.
So the most likely time would be when you went to borrow Amapel, Master. The culprit had to have entered the lab then.
But Fubuki waited at the front chamber while Desuhiko and I went to borrow Amapel. She said no one entered or left the lab. Huh? We're back on the original path.
Maybe you're supposed to try opening that door now.
I'm sure that from here on out, it's not just about when, but also how the culprit got in. Yuma, there's no need to push yourself if things get too hard.
No, I can do it. I'm going to solve it.
This is a map of the critical lab.
So we have to determine where the culprit was before the murder.
We'll have to solve them one at a time. Let's start with this mystery.
If we know where the culprit was before they got in, this route will be clear too. Do you know where, Yuma?
I'm thinking it's either of these two.
Here! The culprit must have been here!
Yay! It opened!
After the exchange on the intercom, given there was always a detective at the front chamber, when we went to borrow Amapel, the culprit had to have already made their way inside. But the airlock is the only location that isn't affected by the security system. There, the culprit had to be inside that decontamination device before committing the crime.
But I thought he was just hiding in there to avoid being spotted after the crime. So you think the culprit was in there before the crime too?
Yeah, the culprit was waiting for their chance. But we had no idea when we sent Amapel into the airlock.
And from there, Yuma, you guided Amapel to the doctor's lab. So the culprit entered the doctor's lab before then? How would that be possible? only Amapau could get past security, right?
Yeah, that's the next big question.
Maybe the culprit used another Amapau unit.
No. The researcher mentioned there was only one functioning Amapau.
Which means the Amapau Yuma controlled was the only one that could get past security.
So the culprit must have taken advantage of Master's Amapau to get into the doctor's lab.
Yeah, that's the only way. But how did they use it? There's no solving the doctor's murder until we figure that out.
Well, I have an idea. Will you hear me out?
What is it?
How about giving up? I'm getting tired.
Nope, motion denied. Another fork in the road? Such a complicated mystery labyrinth.
Beyond each problem lies the truth. We're definitely getting closer to the heart of this mystery.
Do you think neither is really the right answer?
Given the process of elimination, that must be it. Amapau's hands aren't designed to hold anything, so it couldn't use the knife to murder the doctor. Which means Amapau wasn't the murder weapon. And the culprit couldn't have used it as a shield. It can't neutralize the toxic gas, and the high-voltage shock would destroy it.
So then, how did the culprit use Amapau?
I think we'll find out if we continue down this path.
Huh? That was the wrong answer? Come on, Master! Huh?
We've been here before. It looks like we've been brought back.
But the door we opened earlier is closed again. Why's that?
Yeah, I wonder why.
Huh? Even the question is the same. Does that mean we gotta do it all over again?
Well, the logic is still sound. There's no other hiding spot for the culprit besides the airlock.
So you want to choose the same answer and keep going?
If you do, you'll just repeat the whole process again. We'll just be brought back here if we can't figure out how did the culprit use Amapau. And I refuse to walk any more than I have to.
Hey, don't sit down!
What should I do?
Stand up! Stand up right now!
Stop it. Leave me alone.
If you want me to leave you alone, then help my useless master out!
Fine. Just one thing, then. We're back at... Where was the culprit before the crime? Because you're stuck at... How did the culprit use Amapau? With that in mind, these two questions are connected.
Connected? Both the culprit's location and how Amapau was used?
Help him out more! More!
The culprit was hiding in the airlock, where you also left the robot, right? At that moment, only the culprit and Amapau were there. So maybe the culprit did something.
The culprit did something to Amapau?
Clues are always there. right under your nose. It's a detective's job to notice them. Did you notice anything strange back then? Any tiny detail? Try to remember.
Something strange. Hey! Now that you mention it, back then...
Oh hey, the screen lit up. So this is what Amapal sees. It's like the cockpit of a mecha.
Whoa, what was that?
Did it break already? I thought it was state-of-the-art!
No, it's alright. It's stabilized. There was a moment when the camera stopped functioning while I was controlling Amapal. It returned to normal pretty quick, but maybe...
See? I told you it was right under your nose. You don't need any additional help from me, right?
That was a clue to help solve this mystery?
Actually, everything in this world is a key to solving mysteries. You just haven't noticed them. Perhaps there is more you're overlooking. Was there anything else unusual?
Something unusual. Something I missed.
Anything else? It's not like Amapal's camera showed the culprit.
Wait! That's it!
Huh?
Now that I think about it, wasn't that strange? The culprit must have gotten ahead of Amapal, but why didn't they ever show up on the camera? If the culprit went past Amapal to enter the doctor's lab, they would have been spotted for sure.
Now that you mention it...
But nobody showed up on camera. How did the culprit manage to pull that off? How can you move from the airlock to the doctor's lab without appearing even once on Amapal's camera?
Hey, aren't you just adding another mystery?
No. All the pieces are here.
Huh?
Yuma, the mysteries you face now can be solved with a single answer.
A single answer?
Sheesh. I talk too much.
Oh, one mystery after another! What did you do now? It's a Pandora's box of mysteries!
Let's stay calm and think about it. There's plenty of time.
Or not. I'll keep reading while you wrap things up.
Remember what he said, Master. All it takes is one answer to solve these mysteries. Use those weak brain cells of yours and think!
Culprit's location. Amapal's usage. Its malfunction. Why didn't the culprit appear on camera? All this can be solved with just one answer? I got it! The culprit rode on Amapal's head, using it as a method of transportation.
The door opened!
With every open door, it will be harder for you to turn back. Are you sure you want to keep going?
Absolutely! I will find the truth no matter what. This is for the Nocturnal Detective Agency.
Hey, you said the culprit rode on top of Amapal. What did you mean by that?
Literally what I said. The culprit rode Amapal and used it to get through. After we left Amapel in the airlock, the culprit came out of the decontamination device. Then they jumped on Amapel's head. The disruption in the footage was from the impact.
But what about the
That's insane.
gas?
Is it? I think it's fairly reasonable. Amapal can withstand up to 100 kilograms of weight. So, someone riding on it shouldn't affect its functionality.
The shoe print on Amapel's head wasn't caused by someone kicking it. It was left there from the culprit hopping on and off.
After that, the culprit simply rode on it as it moved toward the doctor's lab. By doing so, the culprit was able to evade the camera and remain hidden as they made their way through the lab.
You're right. If it's true, it does solve all of the previous mysteries. Imagining the culprit riding on a robot makes me laugh.
But Yuma, have you not realized it? You're still missing something. One major mystery remains.
What's with that huge sigh?
The greatest mystery of this case should appear soon. Just the thought of it gets me feeling down.
This case's greatest mystery? This is the panel chamber.
That means the doctor's lab is just beyond it. If we can get through here, we'll reach the goal, yeah? Is this the greatest mystery you mentioned?
Not exactly what I was envisioning.
Well, this is the mystery to be solved, so let's clear it out.
Beats me.
The culprit murdered the doctor before Amapel entered the room. Which means the culprit had to have gotten ahead of Amapel at some point. It was when the door first opened. At that moment, the culprit snuck into the doctor's room.
Yeah, when the doors were slowly opening, just like this. That's when the culprit took their chance.
Right. The moment there was enough space for a person to slip through, the culprit hopped off and went inside.
Like this? We still haven't reached the goal. I thought we could get into the doc's lab now.
Is this a joke to you? Your deduction is full of holes. If this is a joke, it's not very funny.
Master, you know what to do.
Of course.
I'll take your garbage deduction and toss it in the trash. I am the Saint of Kanai Ward, protecting it from filth like you! The culprit hopped off Amapal as the door opened. Then slip through the gap in the door. That's impossible even for Fink the Slaughter Artist! Think about it. If Amapal's line of sight changed just a bit, the camera would have caught it. No one would do something so risky. The crime would have been exposed. The culprit must be really lucky.
What does that mean?
Say,
The culprit hopped off Amapal as the door opened.
then slip through the gap in the door. That's impossible even for Fink the Slaughter Artist! Think about it. If Amapal's line of sight changed
Just a bit, the camera would have caught it. No one would do something so risky.
the crime would have been exposed.
Exposed. The culprit must be really lucky.
I guess that's not it.
The culprit
Hopped off Amapal as the door opened.
then slipped through the gap in the door.
That's impossible even for Fink the Slaughter Artist! Think about it. If Amapal's line of sight changed
Just a bit.
the camera would have caught it.
No
Oh my
one would
God.
do something so risky.
The crime would have been exposed. The culprit must be really lucky.
What? Did they use some sort of special power?
Okay, I had it right, but I fucking missed. Jesus Christ.
The culprit hopped off Amapal as the door opened.
Then
Fucking
slipped through
God.
the gap in the door.
That's impossible even for Fink the
Slaughter Artist!
Think about it. If Amapal's line of sight changed just a bit, the camera would have caught it. No one would do something so risky. The crime would have been exposed. The culprit must be really lucky.
What? Did they use some sort of special power?
What?
The culprit hopped off Amapal.
As the door opened.
I'm so confused. What?
Then slipped through the gap in the door. That's impossible even for Fink the Slaughter Artist! Think about it. If Amapal's line of sight changed just a bit,
Oh, it's this. Jesus Christ.
Through this mystery. Amapel is designed so that when its hand is stretched out, it won't execute any other inputs. That's why when it was pressing the button for the door, the culprit didn't show up on the camera.
you little maggots, don't get so full of yourselves. You're not getting out of here alive.